Lexi, you can hear me? Your mic muted, so unmute your mic. Oh, greetings all. Yeah, so you are joining me on Context Matters. The date is March 14th, 2024. Now, this is a very interesting program. We are talking about freedom. What is it? Who gets it? That's the conversation that we're going to be having today. But I want to start off with a particular situation. I see the video doing the rounds, and this is exactly why this program matters and why context matters. I, in my interest to have persons participate, persons who were messaging me and calling me and wondering where I was, went live and indicated that, listen, I am at the Privy Council and we are waiting. And as we sat there and we waited, we were engaged on my platform, where if you have interest, you come on my platform. I did not seek you out, you came to me. And on that platform, as we did banter and people asked questions and a good long context and discourse, which was to keep persons in high spirit. And we know God on time is the mantra. And as we got there, lo and behold, you are making videos, cutting and pasting and cutting down and speaking about banter in relation to St. Thomas and how we joke during our context matters, which means you have no clue what context means and your mind is completely in the gutter. When I turned my live off and I said, people, I'm going to go and pray, and I'm repeating it, and I said, St. Thomas, you know what to do. Load up the gathering, and you're saying conduct of an attorney. Listen, I said no God, and I invite people to go and find God. And when I banter with my people and when I show my people love and we have conversations while we learn and we grow and we know what the word of God and the work of God is, I reject any negativity that come. And I am congratulating my team. I'm congratulating the faith that the four men have in knowing that God would have delivered them, and the apex court would have come and say your conviction is quashed. It's better you ask me what that means, because the IQ is low and the aptitude is low, than to pick and find things to make negativity out of a positive situation. But I can tell you, while the mind of man is corrupt, the love and blessings from God is pure. And so that is my response to anyone that find the wrong context into keeping positive vibrations and using sarcasm and satire and joking, as I always will, because the wickedness of man will always be the destruction of the people. I'm going to tell you that. That's all I'm going to say in relation to that. And I'm moving on. I had promised the people who follow me on TikTok, who follow me through Reggae Global Radio and on YouTube, that I would have the conversation about the philosophy of freedom, to speak about what happened in the judgment today. Because I tell you, the law is a jealous mistress. I want to start right there to say, yes, the law is a very jealous mistress. And if you don't learn to fornicate with the law and try to understand it, you will not know your rights. So, in the context that I have been saying for years now, and I want to make this absolutely clear, because I've been saying this for years, that the Constitution is the only protection that you have to be reminded that you're a human being when you come from a society where most of us are poor, where most of us have dreams and don't even begin to have the money to escape that poverty. Now imagine, as a youth, a trying youth, find yourself in the palms of justice, and you are convicted for a crime that you did not do, and you have no money to take it all the way to where the fat lady sings. No, I'm not talking about Lizzo. And the when that happens, you are victorious, and the negativity arises. That has to be a rejection. So tonight, I'm taking this opportunity to educate those who wish to be educated and who wish to have that type of conversation. And I'm inviting the people, should they all appear tonight, who have been instrumental in ensuring that when there is fornication with the law, when there's learning with the law, and they, while their companions slept, were toiling upwards through the night. People understand, that you get what you put into the work that you do. And I will respectfully reject anybody that think that when I'm encouraging people and speaking in a language that they understand and humanizing situations that are most unfair, people who ought to go and fix their lives respectfully. So that's my position on that. But in that vein, I'm going to invite Miss Alexandra Labich to the platform. Most of you may not have known that she was a part of the team and a part of the people behind the scene out of Jamaica, a bright young lady who I would have studied with when I was learning the law, and who I have the opportunity to work with within my chambers. And I want you all to meet the young minds, the bright minds that have the same desire and ambitions for a better Jamaica, and the fight against constitutional rights. So for those of you who also come on the Reason with Rattigan show, or the Andre Stevens show, or Wayne show, and you hear about the one Jamaica Legal Defense Funds, you get an appreciation for who is doing the work, and what the team looks like, and how much work is put into fighting an entire states with an endless amount of resources against people who, when they say they're not guilty, people, the court of public opinion, whether it be through bad mind, whether it be through just self hatred. I'm going to use it like that, would have found their way to minimize or diminish the hard work put into people. But I'm going to say this a million times while we speak about freedom, including the freedom to speak, freedom of expression, and the freedom to be yourself and not be constrained by colonial shackles meted out by the animal farm justice that is present. And I'm saying this passionately because I want people to understand. But without much further ado, Miss Labish, I hope your monitor work and your battery not dead. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, well, so before you start that, some people are big me up and I say, me I gotta get KFC, Jamaican KFC, me want. Yeah, me wanting to know that nobody does it better. Big up yourself, Kevin Wright, I see you. Marie Majesty 411, Tanisha Ellis, Viv Chin, I see you. Trishy, big up yourself. Charnel Williams, Nor Loxley Gregory, Neville Lewis, Missy Bram Bram, Marlene Bowman, Daddy's little girl. I seen all of you. I'm calling my people on TikTok. Big up yourself. Munchi, Lisa, British One, Audrey. It's going so fast I can't keep up, but I know you're there. Thank you for joining, and thank you for always trying to share within knowledge. Lexi,
Yes,
I
yes.
want to, I want to start by asking you, how are you feeling about today's events?
I am very relieved, very happy. I think we got the most important thing, which was for the
Mhm,
conviction to be quashed and the appeal to be allowed. While we would have
mhm,
wanted the men to go home to their families today, we live to
mhm.
fight another day. And we will see how things go going from here as it relates to the
Okay.
retrial, the possibility of the retrial.
Well, so it's funny that you say that, and I'm using this platform to have the conversation because the legal luminaries are out. All the lawyers who are on what do they call that space, Jamaican Twitter, all the wides and all the narrows and all the J's and the M's and all, everybody have something to say. And clearly, not to talk down on anybody, but the ones who never go law school, but they just know the law, and they say, oh, it's not gonna happen, and they I don't even know the word vitriol, the trolling on the internet that came with it. But to say to you, in terms of outcomes, when you say the possibility, do you realize that the media is not too au fait with the fact that the judgment has quashed the conviction, and not
Yes,
only that, not only that it has quashed the conviction, but also it makes clear that our court has competent jurisdiction under the guidance of a Justice Sykes to do what is right.
exactly,
Rhetorical language to in my interpretation to say take it no further. The
exactly.
mechanism of the institution,
That's the
yes.
most important thing I would wish for people to understand. It is not a done deal. It has not been said that there is going to be a retrial, which is how I see some persons redistributing it in the media to say that it has been ordered that there is going to be a retrial. That is not the case.
That's what I was getting at. Because
Going
context matters. And the big word, in the Jamaican space is two of them, fully done. Um that is to say, while it is that we have understanding of, it could be language, it could be French, like I'm a fully done chef. I can't cook. Some Rastaman can't cook. I'm from them. And they have a big problem. That is important, and to give people the opportunity to digest what it is. But we're so important. We're so caught up, and I use the context platform to try to use satire and use comedy to educate the people and show them. I had posted I think it was on Instagram or TikTok, a hearse breaking news, and it says breaking news, the hearse catch a fire and the driver and the dead man escape alive without injuries. And because you're so fascinated by or fixated on being first to report, you don't get all the facts. Because you're so fixated on bringing the information to the public so you can say I did it first, you don't grasp or have an understanding. And
right,
you even bring out the legal luminaries who possibly never even read two lines of the case to interpret what it is, and give possibilities, and then it steers the nation into a wide confusion. And
exactly,
on top of that, they worried about gathering, and they worried about St. Thomas, and the powers that be. Because we know St. Thomas.
because I saw
Yeah.
a thing, I saw a thing before today, and
Mhm.
so I wouldn't have expected people to have that kind of attitude to it, because there have been
Mhm.
calls by some persons to have a repeal of the Obia Act in light
Yeah.
of certain things that were in the media before today.
L- Listen, I
No,
cannot believe me
context
I gonna get
matters.
the blame for the official repeal of the OBIA Act. I never even made
Not saying
I
that the
made no
issue
word about OBIA.
no, the issue came up before today.
No man, I'm saying this is
Mhm.
the opportunity now. But anyway, we're not going to go down the rabbit hole with nonsense. To distract the people from the fact that one of Jamaica's national treasure lost 12 years and counting of his life from a gamble, from a breach of his fair trial right, which the Privy Council now says is there, even if they are constrained, says it's unacceptable. It is not some, they cannot, notwithstanding the effect of discharging jury X, the miscreant juror, should never have sat on that jury.
And it's
No.
funny because I
Mm-hmm,
sit here remembering that in law school I
mm-hmm,
attended this appeal, the original appeal,
mm-hmm.
as part of the I don't even remember what it's called. I think that you have to do attend where you have to attend the court
Court
appearance.
attendance. Court
Right.
attendance. Yes.
And I remember speaking with you, and I said to you, well, there's no way that they can lose the appeal because the evidence is so clear. And
Mm-hmm,
so it's so significant, it's so important for me to be sitting here today, having played
mm-hmm.
a part in seeing the convictions of those men quashed. As unfortunate it is that it is only being done today.
You know, let me tell you something that is significant because I'm not sure if they heard what you said a while ago. You said, I remember when I was in law school seeing their appeal. And for you to be saying you were in law school at the hearing of their appeal, I can say we law school during their trial, and when there was a conviction. I remember posting on Facebook to Cartel and say, Cartel, the jury paper, and I know you remember it when I did the independent research paper on the
Right.
jury paper. I said Vibes Cartel, this is the paper that is going to free you. And to know that this is information that we would have traversed over, and justice is so slow. And justice delayed is justice denied,
It
which is
is
why
true.
people are feeling that the men are not victorious. But I'm going to share with you about the effect, to put in context how significant and monumental today was. The conviction of a national treasure and others. Dan Saul would have been robbed of the visual and the industry of a Vibes Cartel from an improper conviction. But it took him 12 years and a lot of months to fight it in unfortunate health conditions. And now there people will be defensive and start to say, yes, but he rejected the medical treatment. But the same hospitals where you see rat and roach are run up and down, the bad conditions, they want you to go under the knife when clearly you've been saying you don't like me, that's why I'm convicted. And the prosecution is was done in such a way where I never get a fair trial. Let me not use language outside of that. And you're saying, I'm afraid of the state, so I won't go under the knife. Only Shorty must run me down with the knife. But don't worry, nobody can run me down with the knife again. But anyway,
No, but what you're
to
saying, that is so, and I don't know how to get people to appreciate that, but what you just said, it is so important. How do
mhm,
you ask someone who the system has failed so disgustingly to say
mhm.
to them, hey, trust another organ of the state, trust the health system, the justice
No,
system might not have done well by you, but trust
mean,
our health system.
facts. But
That's great.
there are people who will say that oh well, he refused the treatment, so why is he complaining and being sick? Because
You get what you get.
humanity
That's crazy.
humanity humanity is lost. Jamaican people don't treat Jamaican people good. They
That's crazy.
just simply don't. It is a reality. Look how
And
them
that's
treat
the
me.
thing.
Look how them treat me. I
That
just
is
I just the diaspora treat me nice and give me KFC, Oh,
that
and
is
you to
true.
Lex. I taking
I'm
it.
sure
I
you
taking it.
my face
You did. Yeah, I did. You send me the picture, show off, but
yes,
you have. But
yes.
the point or where I'm trying to get with this though is to get to the point that even after that you're expected to trust. You're expected to give trust, confidence when you're saying I'm aware of a system that is abusing me, and so. any conversation about not wanting to take the treatment is only a wise person would reject the treatment and do so also under legal advice.
Exactly,
And, and,
exactly.
and one must note that there was a expedited hearing which the Privy Council wasted no time in hearing and brought an expedited judgment. And we
Grateful for that.
were grateful and see that as significant. But
Hmm.
in terms of the tone, you're in Jamaica and I'm here. Only you can tell me what is the tone, what is the atmosphere, what is the environment like.
Well, the most significant thing I'm seeing is a lot of people are confused as to the effects of the judgment. What does it mean
Hmm.
for the men? And
Hmm.
as we were talking about earlier, I think persons don't understand, as I was saying, that it is not that they have ordered a retrial, they have remitted it to the Court of Appeal here, who will then make the decision whether or not there is going to be a retrial. So a lot of persons are already thinking, oh my God, he's going to go and have to find money to do a trial again and all those kind of things. But we don't want to take our mind there. We want to remember the theme that we have been pushing, which is God and time.
Mm. I love that. I love
And
that.
why this is important is the message that it sends to other persons to say that, hey, the system could have done this, and then, which is the message I'm seeing. No, look how the system failed him, and they're sending him back to the same system for them to retry him again and determine his fate.
Hmm.
That is
So,
important, because if we lose that kind of hope, the only thing I can see happening is complete anarchy.
well, I'm glad you say that because we're going to put that into context right now. And let me start by saying the system that they're making mention of, um, the jury trial took place post the charter.
Mm-hmm.
So the Charter of Rights was new. If you weren't going to law school at the time and if you weren't taught by Tracy Robinson, to be honest with you, I don't know how you would know the Charter.
That is
I'm saying that because I'm UWI-cated, but even though I'm not up at UWI, but I've heard in spaces about the 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 live streaming of the matter, the case files and the coursework that has come in terms of from the university, both Mona through Tracy and everybody, as well as at the law school, to give people education in real time as the jurisprudence changes and preparation, kind of like how we had when we did the Quincy McEwen at school, when we were learning about the charter and the different how important rights are. The right to life is not greater than the right to freedom of expression. All the rights are equal and
mhm,
must be respected. So I start there to say that it was Young, the Justice Campbell at the time. He didn't fix his mind to the charter, but also didn't fix his mind to the change in how to deal with fair trial right and his duty as the custos morum, the guardian of the Constitution, to fix his mind to say the fair trial right is no, there must be a demonstrably justifiable test to breach this right also. Separate from the telecommunications. And so the Constitution has, through the Charter, has given added protection to the citizen so that the presumption of innocence, no matter what is going on over there and all that you're hearing, the hearing of evidence is nothing to a just verdict, a fair trial in a reasonable time by a fair and impartial jury. So that happened, and then came the Court of Appeal. And the Court of Appeal reasoning was identical to the reasoning of the Privy Council. I've read the judgment, but the outcome is what was different. And so that, but that was at a time where NIDS wasn't upon us. The interpretation or the effect of the Constitution as interpreted by Justice Sykes in the Julian Robinson judgment. Did you know that Julian Robinson was the brother of Tracy Robinson?
Yes.
Can you believe great minds come from one family? And the father is a judge. That type of banter in a house, I can just imagine. That's like when me and Taffy banter. Not Peter, not you, but Taffy. Anyway, moving from that, but I want to also say before I ask you, it is after the appeal in 2020 and the conviction was upheld that in the fastest time possible there was a hearing motion for leave. That's when I came on board as Cartel's attorney, and this motion goes before the court and was granted out of Jamaica. Significantly is we went before Justice Brooks, who sat on the panel, Justice McDonald Bishop and Justice Straw. I'm saying this to show you that the court, as constituted, is a court of justice, and
Right.
brilliant minds sit in the local space. So when I hear people calling it kangaroo court and this, I object, because we are a growing nation. We evolve, and that's why the jurisprudence grows through challenging the norms, challenging the customs, and introducing the new interpretation, a new way to look at the law, engaging these judges. And the judges says, understand this, and I want the people to know that at the granting of the leave to appeal, the Court of Appeal had said that at that time that court was functus. And the Court of Appeal made it clear that, listen, they recognize that the conviction ought to have been quashed. And they wrote the questions. And I need to make sure that this is clear. We proposed questions and they perfected the questions. And one of the questions, even though it wasn't answered by the board, it started off by saying, when somebody constitutional rights is breached from the collection, collation, something of evidence, what is the effect of it, and our judges bound? They were asking rhetorical questions. I need to make that clear. And so in the judgment, seeing the Lords say, listen, the court is competent to deal with those issues, so we don't have to deal with it, because this trial was unfair on so many levels. They allowing the miscreant juror to is our X-Men now, it's jury X, like Professor Xavier. Jury X is allowed to remain, and although the judge never had to investigate him, or they made it clear about the chamber hearing that given the investigation, the defendants didn't have to be there. But key thing that we mustn't miss is they're saying, but the court is competent, and I agree. The court
Right.
is competent. We have gotten to a place where I don't care what happens. So when I go to court, and me have whole heap of lawsuits in a court. Me sue for everything. Me sue for JP. Me sue for education. Me sue when them trouble Rattigan. Me sue when Rattigan has a question. Everything we happen in Jamaica, me sue. I mean, should I name ISAT sue? But
But it's
when I say
important
that,
it's important that Jamaican people are clear on that. That it is not that the courts here are incompetent. And so we can trust them to make the right decisions and to do what is in the interest of justice. They will not turn a blind eye and see things happening and allow it to happen.
Right. So
we're not damned.
No, we're not. But just to vindicate the court, to say that the court asks questions, we can have a whole discussion as to whether or not those questions were answered. But I think that in my mind, because I was there, I think the questions were rhetorical. And in because the answer to those questions are yes, it's undisputed.
Right.
Um, and because that is of utmost importance, I know that we certainly, myself and you, will be back before the Privy Council, um, to answer similar questions for them to ultimately decide. And that's what's exciting about the law is, I'm never mad at a judge at first instance, if it doesn't go in my favor, because I know, understand wholesome the legal process.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing more beautiful than, certainly not for not if you're sitting in prison, but from a lawyer standpoint, that you take the matter to the apex court, and the apex court gives you, the highest court in the land gives you a judgment that says you were right. Come, remember when I just came on this case and people are saying, the idiot and the this and the that, and you don't know the law, and the people who have been there long, long ago, saying that it can't work like this. But the vindication comes at the end. So there are no losers when we're trying to change the jurisprudence.
And that is
And
exactly it. I like that. That's the point right there. And it is important to have attorneys who are willing to take on that kind of challenge. It's
Mhm,
important for us, every Jamaican citizen. I was on with CVM earlier today and Professor
mhm,
Donna Hope. And let me
mhm,
tell you, it was so interesting for me to sit there and hear someone who is not in the legal profession speak to the importance of this judgment, not just for the
mhm,
appellants, not just for the furtherance of the jurisprudence, but for every single Jamaican citizen to
mhm,
understand that we have rights and we must be treated as human beings in every
mhm.
facet of society. And if it
Right.
is that those rights are infringed, they must be vindicated.
I agree.
Oh, that's
So
all Jamaica
somebody
teaches us.
somebody in the comments say, "Me still stuck at the point where you say, I want to find it so I can pin it." They say, "Me still stuck at the point where she say, trust them." Pepper C 39. See it here.
But we
They
have
say, trust who? Me not even trust my shadow. That's what they're saying. But I want you to respond to that.
now I'm saying we have to.
Hmm.
Yes, it's good that if it is that we don't believe we have had the proper recourse, there is, as you have referred to it, the apex court that we can go to say, hey, a decision was made here, and I don't think that it was in keeping with what should have happened. But we don't want to get to a place where it only gets right if it goes to the Privy Council, because the
Right.
reality is most of us are poor and we will
Hmm.
not be able to afford to go to the Privy Council. So what are we going to do? Just sit here and say, fold our hands and say, well, there's nothing more that I could do because I can't go to the Privy Council.
Right.
That's going to be
But
problematic.
then here's the next question though, and I think this question is so significant because what what does that mean for the people who actually cannot go to the Privy Council? Because you said it nicely, but what really does it mean if you cannot get to the Privy Council? Are your rights thrown out, or is it that, one set of justice for you? What is the expectation there? Because before you answer that, I am 100% sure, and I did get a peep of the conversation that you guys had, is people are now aware that they have constitutional rights. People are now aware that their rights are being breached. People are now aware that people will go to great lengths and even disregard the law, in their effort to do justice. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. And so, what then? What's the solution in your
Well,
mind?
in my mind, the difference, say for instance, when this matter came up, because you would have just indicated the struggles you yourself had in
Hmm.
advance, the matter in the way that you saw was important as it relates to their constitutional rights and the issue with the jury.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I believe the importance of this judgment is that there will be more persons that are aware. So you can't trick people if they have the information. So it's not just about the attorneys who advocate. It's to guide people in how we do everything in our everyday lives. To
Mm-hmm.
remember that we are human beings with rights, and people must
Right.
not just willingly take them away from us, and we sit down and say, well, they must know what they're doing. You must know what you're doing too as a regular citizen. You must know
Mm-hmm. But
and know that more than one persons are aware of it. You can have your pick of persons that you can go to now to say, hey, my rights have been infringed. What do I need to do? So there is a discussion on rights, and it is so important for our country to be having those discussions now that we
mm,
weren't having 10 years ago.
all right. Let's talk about jury. Can we trust the jury now in light of social media? Is there what's your thought on that?
If there's to be a retrial or just
Mm.
overall,
Yeah, not the reach overall. What do you think?
I still do believe that the jury system is important. It's important to have regular people who think about things in a regular way, say, hey, do I believe this person is innocent, or do I believe this person is guilty or not guilty?
Mm-hmm.
Because the judges are going to be more focused on what the law is, but someone sitting on that panel is going to say, well, if it was me, what would I do? And
Mm-hmm.
that's an important consideration.
Somebody has asked the question, what is in this case, even if you trust them, you couldn't trust them in this case. So sometimes it depends on the defendants, because what I will say is I trust the system. Big up yourself, Denver need I've done jury trials since I wasn't a part of this trial, but the Tom Tavares KFC, in light of the what he did to protect the constitutional aspect of the case, he did a great job. I think that, like I say, doing a trial in real time, it's completely different from when, and the judges would have said that in terms of the pressure he was under, and they sympathize with the judge. So you have to
Mhm.
sympathize with the lawyers as it's happening in real time. Sometimes there are even trials where judges don't even wait on the lawyer to come to court. They just proceed without the lawyer because they want to move on, um, and start the trial whether the person has a lawyer or not. There's just justice comes in many forms, and because of the human element, it doesn't mean that the system is broken, because there are times you will get a jury who simply is just different from the other one that was a little bit more attentive, was a little bit more um, engaged, versus another set who is not engaged and probably didn't even want to be in there in the first place. But the idea of a jury of your peers is that it's separate and apart from the system itself.
Right.
Um, what is now clear to me is that the justice system is the judiciary, the judicial as set out in the Constitution, and defense lawyers and prosecutors are just players within the system. They are not the justice system. So the
Right.
prosecutor is there to prosecute and the defense is there to defend. You can't take it personal. The man who has to defend will defend, and the man who have to prosecute will have to prosecute.
True.
I know that the canons that is sacred in the Jamaican space says that prosecutors don't win cases; they do justice in the case.
Exactly.
Albeit, albeit defender, the defense wants to win because it's the man against the state. But representative of the states is to do justice, and a part of doing justice is to be able to say, I certainly don't see a fair trial happening, so I would stop it. or regardless of the fact, I must say I can't participate. So it's incumbent on even defense attorneys to say I can't participate in this unfairness, because when it has to trail through the system, people are going to criticize whether you did something right or not. So the participation in and of itself is wholly unacceptable.
That is true. And I'm happy you bring up Denver Needham, because if there is no other case that you and I have done that makes me see the importance of the jury, is
Hmm.
that case.
Yeah. You say it is the what?
I'm saying that that case that we did, Mr. Needham's case,
Yes.
is to me a shining example of the importance of the jury system.
Yeah, that with this, which is why I'm saying that.
They were able to see things from the aspect of a father, and not
Mhm.
just a person A and a person B, and the law says this, and that is the end of it.
Right. So there are two school of thoughts now. I won't tell you how I feel about the Needham thing, except Mr. Needham bust a case. And then I hear through the grapevine that they anyway, I'm gonna leave that one alone. Um what there is two school of thought. There's somebody says, you hear somebody, Kevin is saying they have to set them free, no more trial. But then you have the other side, the two Jamaicas, where people are saying, oh yes, it's time to spend taxpayers' money, the money that they said they didn't want to waste on a trial, because it would be too expensive to have a new trial. They want to waste that money now, even in the face of not wanting to, pay who forget pay the real money to do whatever. They have it to retry. So, what is your position on the two school of thoughts, or you just think that at this point it shouldn't be in the public, tried in the public?
No, I think that it is important that it is in the public space and that persons are able to express a view on it, because the fact of the matter is, it could be anybody that is in that position. And how would you want your trial to go? And this is
Mhm.
why, as I said, the jury system is important.
Right. Loving that. All right, so one of the things, and before I even get into the idea, and I don't know if you can stay until 8 o'clock, but before
Yeah,
we
man,
get to the
I'll
next
say.
hour, okay, before we get to the next hour, I just want to continue to bring some clarity, because this platform is about context matters. It's about having persons. Natalie's inspiration. How you doing? You say hi, and I saw that. Um, we wanna pretty much give clarity. People are saying how him not get bail and when him a go get bail, and I don't know where they're getting the pockets of information for. I just want to say that the Privy Council website, the jcpc.uk, if you go on the website, the very judgment that I'm talking about, and I'm really not going to read from the judgment today unless I absolutely have to. But the judgment is for the public to read. It's for public consumption, because it's a learning moment. It will be a teachable moment, but certainly it is a learning moment for all to see. So I would invite persons to look at the judgment. Look at the press summary if you don't like to read the full judgment, and having read it, then ask questions, ask competent questions, ask questions that make sense, ask questions that will enhance the conversation. And because we're saying we want to learn, we want to be in a position to know our rights, because you never know when you let me tell you something. If you're in Jamaica, your father, your brother, your sister, your friends, nobody's immune. I never know in Jamaica's history that I'd hear say a lawyer thump out a girl teeth. that this is something happening and dragged before the court like a common criminal. I didn't know that happened. But I speak on that because also I'm still in awe that of all the events that took place today, that somebody would think that as a topic of discussion is my lovely blue ring. Yes? And I have a right to talk about St. Thomas because my grandmother comes from St. Thomas and my property in St. Thomas. Uno don't make me go down at St. Thomas and go up at the property. But anyway, let me leave that alone because they're gonna screen, they're gonna take this and say I'm doubling down on it. But the context is what matters and why it is important. And when you are void of a person's history, when you are when you're void of the power of the spoken word, people won't get to understand or even begin to rise above the fray. And so for the way forward, a reporter asked me today if because of the decision today if I will remain cartel's lawyer. A reporter asked that. Yeah, I get in a lot of calls. I don't know why, but yeah. Yeah, you want to answer?
The point that is tagged to the screen, Kevin's point,
Yeah.
is important because that is something that we would have addressed while we were in the Privy Council, that we are arguing against the retrial. We don't think it makes sense at this stage. The time that has passed, the state of the evidence, the cost to the state.
Yes. Exactly. No, man, you're right.
No, sorry, I was reading the other thing on the screen.
Oh, you read? Yeah. I just put it up there because I wanted it there. It says, well, I'm not worried about that. I think that it is important to seek justice. It is
Right.
important. It is important that that people appreciate that justice is for all. I just it's difficult when you're not in a situation to know the struggles that people in. Can you imagine living in a space where you don't have no money? Little Kirk did sing a song, "Get up, people, brahak," and then can't get no work. Stand na 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 na. Can you imagine you get up every day? I was having a conversation with Dr. Jackson. You know, Dr. Jackson is our hero. It is Dr. Jackson, who was the dean of the university, the law, the
The
faculty.
faculty.
Yeah, and you know he's always passionate about um trying to send the message that they're that like the ghetto youth them save and them buy them bike and they have ambition, they're working, they're trying, but then they're stripped of that because they come from communities and then you hear they're violence contributors, violence producers, or they're going to be investigated for some crime they're not committed, or their face is placed their face is placed in the media and people are talking about them and tried in the court of public opinion, and then radam they get off track. You have to find money to pay lawyers. The lawyers aren't cheap. people
Mhm.
make people make fun of can he oh people make fun of thing about price double and this and that, but the most important thing that I think that people miss is that um to put people through the legal system when they never had money in the first place.
Right.
The thing about there are people who live in impoverished conditions their whole life,
Mm-hmm.
but they have to find the money to bury the dead. They have to find the money to get their children out of prison. their sons, their daughters, their spouses, their husbands, their wives, their boyfriends, girlfriends, cousins, aunts, family members, and the expense that it comes with, and just the fear that comes with being in court, having your lawyer and a judge saying that I am not waiting on your lawyer, or just something simple like that, and persons who remain unrepresented, much less when you have representation, you're paying for the representation, and even when you pay the top money for the representation, you still don't get representation in a system like that. How do we encourage people to continue to trust the system? As you said, that's a question to you.
Yes, that is a question to me. But as you have said, for all its flaws, I do believe that our judges are competent,
Mm-hmm.
regardless. There might be some hiccups and some missteps and things that happen along the way, but I would like to believe that at the moment where the judge has to make a decision, or judges have to make decisions, that they make sound decisions.
Mm-hmm.
The jurisprudence has grown so much since this matter, since our matter arose over a decade ago.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that the issues that are coming up now, I don't know that put before our judges today, who I think would be in a better understanding, having been able to sit with our constitution. They would have heard more arguments about it, and now they have the guidance from our Privy Council. I don't see where they would have gone ahead and made some of the decisions that were made by the judge of first instance. I don't see that happening today. That is my opinion.
Okay, I'm glad that you said that. So my thing is this: um, being in court, being in the space. I think what is good, what would be a new phenomenon is for the public to know our judges. Um, and knowing our judges, for instance, open court judges, a open court system kind of similar to the Privy Council, where they can the trials are streamed live, and so rather than we spend a lot of time on third hand information, we just simply get it from the court, and then you usually not the interpretation cannot easily be skewed because right before your eyes you can see it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and so we want that, but just to say that a way or a method for people to know their judges, because when I speak proudly about the justice system. I personally like, and I'm gonna name drop right now, and I might get in trouble for it. But I'm gonna start with Justice Judith Pusey, and here's why I'm doing that, because you will beat Justice Pusey in Montego Bay and you get rough up. the only thing, the only thing, that was Clarendon for you. But you meet her in Montego Bay, and you get beat up, and you feel like your mother take out the belt and beat you, and she will say, "Come out of the courtroom, nonsense." And your pride and your ego, and you feel like, "Oh, I don't want to be a lawyer anymore." The wickedness of the judges, yes, and then you go into Clarendon, and it's get it right, man, and
I
and
was
and
before her this morning. So yes. Yes, definitely.
okay, okay. See,
Yes,
I didn't even know that. So I'm not
yes.
picking on you,
But you're
but
absolutely
hey,
right. Because if they know about the brilliance of our judges, for
brilliant,
this is one of the most brilliant minds out of our jurisdiction. I don't even say Jamaica. I say out of the
Caribbean.
Caribbean.
The Commonwealth, yes. And
That
you'd
is
be
just the
accurate.
truth.
So that's why I start with her, because behind all of that, and culture is so important.
Exactly.
And one of the things that I'm making it clear, because I'm using this show to have a conversation with you. My teaching style this time is to have the conversation with you, and to get there from that. But to
But
know
not to
that.
stop your eyesight, it is, as I
Mhm,
said, these judges, having appeared before them myself, why I say we can trust them
mhm.
to get it right.
No man, I love that, but
Say that things that happened 10 years ago will not happen. No.
no, no, absolutely not. And I've seen in my short time at the bar the leaps and bounds and the improvement in the justice system. The same justice system. And I can tell you, because I start with Justice Pusey, I love her. Yes. I hope she doesn't watch my show, but just to say that she will rough you up and make you wonder why you're a lawyer. And clients will just see that one day, but they don't see the other days. They don't see the guidance. They don't see the knowledge. They don't know that in speaking a particular way, a particular day, she would have encouraged even somebody like me before I was a lawyer to go be a lawyer.
Not only that, let's talk about my rough up in Clarendon now. Remember,
No, listen up. I know why you
no,
make
no, I'm saying,
it.
listen to what the client said to me afterward. He said, I like that judge.
Mm,
And I think it was the respect to say, to see a judge say, well, I don't really respond. I'm not really responsible with whatever stature you might have when you come into my court. I'm about justice.
right.
And you
That's what
must
I
be
was
doing
getting
the
at.
right things, not just as the defense attorneys, but as the prosecution and as the police. And I have huge respect for her for that. Don't come
Right.
in our room and play. And
I,
so it
I
was interesting to me, even there in the taking the beat up, to see how the client was appreciative that she was coming to bat for him.
hmm
So those
And
things are
that's what
important.
you want. That is definitely what you want from your justice. So let's go to the Court of Appeal. I could call Moreno, but I was making a point. The president of the Court of Appeal, very intimidating to go before Justice Brooks. You will say, if it please you, my lord, and as you open your mouth, him say, wrong! Start again. Don't come in here with foolishness and the rough up in terms of that's how you learn. You learn. I'll interpose a Justice McDonald Bishop in that same conversation, and she'll say, "But no, 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 no. You don't come here prepared. You're not going to come here and think anybody's going to help you. Know the law. Come with the law. Come to battle." And so you're getting your preparation like when if you watch Karate Kid, Mr. Miyagi say, go shine the car, wax on, wax off, go paint. And you think that this is brutal. This is, because people say, oh, the judges are rude, the judges are this and that and that. An introduction to the justice system is important, because then in the same breath, a justice straw is also there. And I tell you, very patient, but you have to come correct if you're going to be able to advocate. And so once again, the law is a jealous mistress, and those who protect her is not going to treat her like it's some patty shop behavior. But you
And
want,
happy you said
our
that.
culture also is that we are we're all stars. So you're not gonna come and expect, say, you're gonna be regular. You have to bring your A game, and that's something is so important. So the same judges that they say it, I'm going to say it, I object or reject any form when it comes to the judiciary, and make it clear that you have the judiciary, which is a separate arm. The judiciary is not government, it's a constitutional arm that is separate from the executive and
Right.
the what they call themselves, the parliament.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Politics that
yeah.
people so
So,
easily
so
caught up into and they tie it into everything else.
right. But
Corporate arm
what is key is that so we don't just willy nilly come talk about corruption, because the judges have judicial independence. A judge at first instance will say, "You think you right and you think you bright, but you're wrong. Go next door, go challenge me," because it's a difference in interpretation of the law. Doesn't mean that you lose. You just lose at first instance. And people wouldn't need lawyers if advocacy wasn't of an important nature.
exactly,
So
exactly.
so
And so
so
even in that and how they might come off
Mhm,
sometime, it is for the benefit of every Jamaican, you know. It's telling attorneys in general, rise to the occasion. It is people's
mhm,
lives and their livelihood and their freedom that is at
mhm.
stake. You have to come good.
Very, very,
Like
very, very important
was
to that.
tailored towards attorneys. I've been to court now and I've seen, especially in more recent times, where the prosecutors really get roughed up by the judges too. They're impatient with them, and every time they come to court and they say, "Oh, this is not ready, that is not ready," and so on, and people have to be paying their attorneys to come to court just to sit down and hear that things aren't ready.
Hmm.
So now it is allowing them the ability to say, well, if I'm going to go to court as a prosecutor, I have to be prepared. I cannot wait till I go to court to say, well, is the thing that we wanted 3 months ago, did we make any checks? Is it ready? Is it not ready? I like
Hmm.
that you go to courts now and you hear the judges reprimand them. Don't
Hmm.
bring people them before them and you're not ready to prosecute the matter. Don't have them in there and stall them and drag out the matter for years and years and years. Court dates are being set very early now,
Hmm.
especially in the criminal courts.
I see that, and that's where we're getting at. The
Because it's
justice
important,
system
for
of
people to see,
2011 is not the justice system that we have now.
and that
In,
is the point.
in fact, the court readiness, I would not be surprised if tomorrow morning the Court of Appeal say, you get an email and say, we are ready and prepared to hear to hear arguments on this matter because the matter is treated with expedition.
Right.
I wouldn't be surprised,
That is
provided all protocols in terms of communication between the apex and that court. I mean, which is a phone call, or email, whatever. These things happens contemporaneous to the reading of the judgment.
right.
But the significance of it, and because of because of the speed that the court wants to deliver justice, I just appreciate that the Privy Council dealt with the Jamaican court with respect.
I appreciate that too. And that is why I want for everyone as a Jamaican who is discussing the matter, as I've said before, to know that it is not saying that our courts or judges or justice system is incompetent, inept,
Mhm.
or anything of the like.
Right, right. Right. That is important, and I'm using my platform to make that clear that a reading of the judgment, I was proud. I was
Indeed.
proud, and repeating again because of especially the work that was put into the questions, the formulation of the questions.
Right.
Even it was the decision of the Court of Appeal or Court of Appeal to have these questions answered by the board. It's not a case where the Court of Appeal, the Jamaican Court of Appeal, said no. They knew
Exactly.
that something was wrong, and they
Exactly.
asked. they asked the Privy Council to investigate this and said that did we make a mistake? That's what a apex court is for. And then says we remit it to you to do that. Somebody said I want it's a lot of questions, but it's a question for you. With case being quashed, are they able to ask a bail? If so, will that be your next step? Should you still be the one representing Vibes Cartel? So this I'm almost certain is the same person who probably had called me to ask should I still be representing Vibes Cartel. But I wonder why wouldn't I be representing Vibes Cartel? You know something, I don't know. So that's my answer to that. But for there are persons who are asking these questions, and I guess you probably have come on late. So let me just answer something for you to say that the conviction was quashed for all four men, thrown out. They are no longer convicts. They are now persons of unquestionable integrity. They can all be JPs right now, even though can't be. So I want you to appreciate that. But notwithstanding that, to be clear, because I see people asking, no, unfortunately, they remain in prison, are not convicts in prison, but are now in the prison. They are not appellants. They're simply in the prison awaiting a determination from the appellate courts. So they have no conviction. Let's make that clear. And we will deal with that. I won't say much more on that, but to answer um, TikTok, to answer Reggae Global chat room, and to answer YouTube, that they are no longer convicts. So all that media hype and all those intellects and all those YouTubers who would have made a life about calling people convicts and using these things to belittle them will cannot refer to them as that anymore.
Right.
Yeah. And that became stale real quick. So unfortunately, don't worry because you still have a beating stick. You have ISAT. So those of you who don't feel like you can call the national treasure and say, the convict guy, here's why he's a convict and why he's not his appeal and these things. Yeah, you can't do that. But don't worry, you have me. You can just call me that. I don't take offense to those things. And one of the things with the work that we do is to ensure that the young men and women of Jamaica don't have convictions so that them can go foreign without being
Right.
163, 187 clearance in the thing. Yeah. But that's very important. And we also have to appreciate that we can't take for granted that yesterday these men were faced with life sentences and
Right.
sentences in inhumane serving sentence in inhumane conditions that I could have a whole nother show about how horrible the conditions are in prison
That is a show in and of itself.
in and of itself. But and today, after the reading of the judgment, that has been removed. Do you know how victorious it is to have a life sentence come up off of your head?
Hmm.
Yeah, you know how it is to have a cut where can heal and then it heal. Like I tell you, man, it will be testimony. I'm trying to use analogies that people can understand. Do you know what it is to have a guard ring where don't guard up? All right, I'm just putting that out there for you. Um, and it is just those things. And yes, I'm using satire. I'm using the comedy. So you understand. Um, that these things are important. So for anybody who feel you want to save up on the money, because concert tickets, let me tell you how to go now and why you must save up on the money. And let me talk with the confidence what you need to know. A $12 million for Skybox in the stadium. The platform will just lift up little bit, hook a bit. When they got a Chris Brown concert and Burner, but $12 million for the Skybox, $3 billion for the Cabana. The bleachers though, 30 grand for no. If we bring in the tube and squeeze out some for cartel, or they just bring the bleaching cream and the people them in the bleachers get a discount. VIP 70 grand. VVIP 150 grand. You understand what's happening here, Alessandra? Oh, well, your mic muted, so I'm not hear you.
And the people on Instagram asking them hearing the ticket prices.
Oh yes, so enough for understand say don't justice rush is justice crushed. So don't rush the things because someone can't pay for the ticket. Yeah. So enough for save up on the money because if you want to be a part of the show, enough for having the money. But don't worry, cause myself let's see. I'm gonna sell it some knockoff tickets.
Tell you.
So fear not, my people. Fear not, my people, because we have ticket cheaper than the bleachers section. It's called the suntan section.
Sunshine section.
15 grand, two for the price of one. Hot bread tickets.
Oh,
This
God.
I know a guy. Check me. But anyway, yeah. So all I want to talking about that. No, and half to do. Yeah, and so we take it one day at a time. I certainly remain confident. I remain resolute, and in terms of my personal feelings, because I don't think that I'm going to express this in spaces other than on Ratigan's show, other than Andre's show or Wayne's show. Lisa already. I think I already spoke to Lisa. Lisa Evers. Big up Fox 5, the international foreign news. Anyway, I think I'm gonna say that I'm overjoyed, even though it don't seem that way. I'm overjoyed because one of the reasons why certainly law is for me is to give a voice to people who are It should be back now. Yeah, it's not Starlink, guys, but yeah. One of the things is the integration aspect of it. Lexi. Um,
You went out for a bit.
yeah. So I was saying I realized I had stopped. So I was saying that one of the things about it is in terms of being a voice of the people is knowing that having a conviction, it prevents you from doing a lot of things.
That is true.
And so I'm now speaking for the common man now to know that it's never easy, especially when you know that you're accused of something that you didn't do, and then they convict you anyway. And then
Right.
you have to live with that stigma. Even when laws is in place. In other words, even after a conviction, I can tell you when even if your record is expunged, people still speak about it. People still take issue with it. Um,
So,
people are even when the world has moved on, when they you so I have not been able to integrate in the Jamaican space. And even when the world has moved on and you're in the UK, it's not a hindrance. It doesn't prevent you from moving on with your life, and you're in societies where rehabilitation matter, and gonna be a rough one. Yeah, having some connectivity issues. But I was saying that so the importance, even for yourself as a lawyer, and we discuss this a lot in our meetings. Um I don't know why Brandon say he hates his life, but never hate your life. You have to love your life.
Brandon here. Na 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 na. Life sweet.
Big artist. That's Alexi.
I go pan to one evening, and that me couldn't know.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Maybe they're blocking me or whatever. But I just want to say that the importance of using mechanisms, especially for youth, the diversion program to prevent convictions, because the world is a large place and your potential can be snuffed out. Without your potential can be snuffed out because the people around you prevent that. I mean, for me, this case was a, a nightmare because you were unraveling all that was wrong in a case that was voluminous, yes.
That it
And
was.
I asked for a cell phone. I'm before the GLC. I I quote cartel. I'm suspended, and practice shut down, and whatever. We're not going to relive that, but to say that there was a lot of effort to ensure that I was not participating in the appeal. And we now know why, because of the outcome is
Right.
that the conviction is quashed, and there are persons who probably is disappointed for that, because this is a case, the longest case in the history in the space. I'm reading the international news, and they are celebrating the fact that the Privy Council has overturned the conviction. You read the Jamaican news and it says, oh, the case has been sent back to. And so the confusion starts, because they're not saying that the conviction is overturned. They're not saying the significance. And so once again, you have to separate how the social media um, brings out what is happening versus
Right.
how the state media does it. Um, so because of that, now we have a full understanding. But to say that I know, and when he does get the opportunity to speak, because we've had many conversations over the last 4 years and so, talking to a man who never believed in God, to a man that is now saying God
God,
on time,
God,
to a man that
listen,
know. And so there's always a bigger message in terms of when God is shaping your life, and is ensuring that you are to when you have work to do, when God
exactly.
give you work to do, and deal with you like Jonah. It will make a whale swallow you up and spit you out. And he will send you to places that you don't want to be, like how he sent Moses, banish him for 40 years. And and we see all of these things happening, and we're wondering, but why is it happening or whatever? But we don't question God. And it was so funny because people I want people to understand this is a Jamaican church. Yeah, it's not indicative of anything, because I need to make that clear now. Because while Cartel is saying God and time, and that's what we live by, and the prayers up, Psalms 121, Psalms 91. I'm not, no, don't worry, Keisha, I'm not gonna say it. I'm finished with the
The stuff
comments. I'm
from
done.
earlier.
Huh?
The stuff from earlier.
Yeah. I'm done with that now. But to say that even reaching there, that God was in the midst of all this,
Let me tell
and
you.
that is greater. And so the naysayers, because they are many, they will have to shift the narrative, and they will have to do what they have to do to say what. But I just want to say that it's a vast team, it's a learning moment, and many things have happened in the growing stages. But in the script of life, everybody has to play their part, so that a teachable moment to open the eyes of a people that's lost.
And I'm so happy you brought up our theme so far, because I adopted, so I will call it our theme so far of
Yeah.
time,
Mm,
because I don't think people understand how important it is to hope against all sense of hopelessness, with people saying,
mhm,
"Oh, they're never going to grant him this appeal, and this is never going to happen," and da 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 da, and all the reasons why it was going to, in their mind and in their estimation, fail. When you are the person who is living in a situation and having to face the realities and the fact of 10 years of your life has passed
mhm,
since the trial, almost to the date now, you're told that things went wrong.
mhm.
And I wish for us to understand that it matters. Because we're going to say, oh,
Does context matter, or it matters?
context
Oh,
matters.
okay.
It matters, man. And so I'm really hoping that it calls on everyone, all of the organs, the players in our judiciary, to continue to do better, because as we have discussed, we are growing, we are doing better, there has been improvement, there's still room for improvement, and we have to continue to do so that we don't end up with situations like this again.
Mhm. In terms of as I said, we speak of the God on time, but it's ironic that there was confusion last week in terms of the election, who won. Now when I look at media, and it's almost like I hear the questions from the people, and the people are saying, hold on, but him win? Is he free or is he
Yeah,
not free?
yeah, yeah.
Not a decision from the court, and people is trying to find out. So hold on, who win?
That's
Um
true.
yeah, it made me really, I smiled to myself, because I said, hold on, they don't know who win the Kingston and whatever, or who win the local government election, and then here comes this judgment, and people say, Lord, we don't know what this mean, what that mean. But a part of public education is also to understand, and I want people to understand, and I'm making this clear. It's not everything have to be in the public space. Not everything. And even though we want the information at our fingertips, we have to let the courts play its part. We have to let things happen, and things play out, and then people can better explain. rather than trying to be in front of the narrative and painting narratives that probably are not so sometimes.
Right,
Um,
right.
is a lot of work has been put into this, and um, in terms of where credit lies, I don't think I think what is important is the outcome for the men rather than persons trying to glorify themselves. So I brought you on this platform because the judgment is clear, you know. Even if people don't want to accept it, your name is there. It's spelled properly, so you can't
Yes,
try it. I
yes,
made no
yes,
complaints. And the thing about it is, people don't read, and so we do it. What did our name again? We do it for the love. We don't do it for the likes.
yeah.
Yeah, chronics.
Right.
Yes, you say that. So I do it for the money. So I don't know about you. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. Look, they're gonna cut this now. You know, I'm
I
joking.
just say to myself,
I'm joking. It's a joke. I kid. Big up all my lawyer, them you don't me money. Anyway, it's important that joke never went over well, you know. So we can't take it back. But anyway, it is very important to note that teamwork makes the dream work.
right. And on
Even
that
if
note,
you're not gelling,
big
mm,
up the team.
big up the team. Right,
Big
right.
up the team.
Big up the team. And I certainly am saying, you know, and I did as well because I don't have to invite everybody. They know how to, you know, take media front and center to ensure that they're out there. But I invited you and John because people can have an appreciation that know for certainly where um I am not taking complete credit for myself.
And no, and nobody on our team can do that.
Nobody can do that,
Honesty and
and
fairness. Both of
nobody can.
us are working, and like, I mean, people don't understand. We didn't sleep. We hardly slept like the night before.
Mhm,
We
mhm,
poured over everything for that final day when we had to make the response. We didn't. You and I. We didn't even have breakfast. We didn't eat
mhm,
nothing. We were just operating on wanting to do the best and putting our best foot forward, so that it's really after it's all ended that we were able to say relax, because it was important to us. We knew how
mhm.
important the judgment was going to be, to put in all the work. It was sleepless nights, it was a lot of hours, it was a lot of work. There was no one person, two person, three person. It took a team of persons to be able to have done the work. Like, I don't, people won't appreciate the volume of information that had to be combed through to just even make the application for leave before
Right.
the court of appeal here, and then to pour back over that information again to prepare our submissions and our applications and do everything. And even after that was completed, to again stay up and do what we needed to do to ensure that our speaking notes were on point, that we were hitting the points we wanted to make, and having all these meetings. It was several Zoom calls and information communicated through lengthy emails. Guys, if you could see the length of our email threads, it was crazy. Crazy.
Mhm.
A lot of work went into this. So big up every single member of our team that put in that hard work and did what we needed to do to get the decision that we got today.
Exactly. And I'm happy to say, that working with everybody was excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and excellent because there was personality clashes, difference in opinion, um, and just being able to um, get here is important. Certainly, my road here it was different from everybody because
That's
we know
true.
we know we know all that was happening and stuff. But I'm not dwelling on it. But sometimes I have to sit and laugh. And when we talk about sleepless nights, it will be a part of the story of how I fell in love with KFC. You know, hard work will make you love KFC.
Oh
Uh,
boy.
it's not a plug for KFC, it's just the truth. Um,
And London's orange juice. Trust
there
me.
you
And
go. There.
vanilla latte. Trust me, guys. Vanilla lattes kept us going. Trust me. We had to be pumping
All of them people that not pay me now, just KFC we are talking about right now. Behave yourself. All right, let me stop. I'm joking.
But guys are not joking. London has the best orange juice. I swear.
All right, so I want to put it out here though, because in context matters, we always talk about the philosophy of the particular thing and freedom. Um, is freedom a free dunce concept?
I hope
What
so.
you hope it is free
Mm.
dunce or freedom? Because
Free.
is the
No, I hope it is free of don't.
you hope it is free of dunce? Well,
Mm.
really, the question is who gets it? Freedom and who gets it. So here's what I'll start by saying. Mm, the philosophy of freedom, it demonstrates the fact of freedom, the ability to think and act independently as a possibility to modern consciousness. Um, there's a book called The Philosophy of Freedom, and it's a book from the a philosopher Rudolf Stein, well, certainly coming from his archive, um, Rudolf Steiner. But if we think, or if we even start to wonder what freedom is, or what should freedom look like and who gets it, one would say the question I'm gonna ask the people, because they ask it. So him free. What about what to you is freedom? Well, it's the power or right to act, speak, or think as one wants. So I can tell you, I am not free. I learned that last year. But even before last year, there was a time when I was shackled. But when Bob Marley said, emancipate yourself from mental slavery, none but ourselves can free our mind. Yes, he took that from Marcus Garvey, but when he put it in song, um, we have to understand the dynamics of freedom. Um, it's a state of not being imprisoned or enslaved. So if he's not, if the men, notwithstanding that the convictions were crushed, are not free, then because they are still imprisoned or enslaved, whichever one you think, incarcerated in this situation, then they're not free.
That
And so
that.
one can appreciate when the fans, when people are saying, but I don't, it doesn't make sense. This isn't freedom, because if him win, or him still he's still in jail. And that's something that's so important in terms of trying to understand, or trying to articulate to people what is freedom, or how we should understand the meaning of freedom.
Right.
So um if we deal with the quality or state of being free, such as the absence of necessity, coercion, or constraint in choice or action, liberation from slavery or from the power of another, boldness of conception or execution, a political right, including the right to vote, the freedom to exercise choice. These are concepts that's just so important that um, when we start to think about the philosophy of freedom and the social construct, social media has caused the incarceration of people in terms of the dissemination of information, and how to accurately either relate, disseminate it, and also to receive it, and the real time concept. So my question to you is, if you could talk to your clients now, and they're not out tonight, and 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 there might be feeling a sense of despair, a sense of not feeling vindicated, what would you say to them?
Keep holding on. They've been fighting for so long, and it's just another step. Just one more
Mm,
thing that has to be done. But one
mm,
thing I would remind them is that in the eyes of the highest court in our jurisdiction, they have been vindicated. It is acknowledged that a thing was done that
mm-hmm.
ought to be done to them, and no one can take that away from them.
Right. Okay.
Just keep
So
holding.
loving that. No, let me just, I want to engage the comment section. And yes, I'm not blocking Brandon. I don't block trolls. If you find it, if you find the need that you need to be here, it's fine. Because I always say it's all in life. You got to keep your head up and keep your stride. No time to be living a lie. You can make it if you try. The starting point is to believe in yourself when people don't believe in you. Um, this is, there's so much to teach, there's so much to learn from this, and I do hope that certainly for my context matter students, my context matter visitors, my context matter matters friends and family, that you definitely will read the judgment and have questions that you want to ask, and suggestions and ideas of how the law could be improved, um, as well as to have a sense of what you feel your rights are now, and whether you have a comment, a thought, even now, if you want, you can share with me, both TikTok, both Reggae Global, and the YouTube, um, what thoughts you have now in light of the fact that we do know, like, I cannot get past knowing that they allowed a corrupt jury to bring a verdict.
Cannot
That
get past it, and I
you
think the
can't get
judges
past
have
it.
not gotten past it. And
Yeah,
this, even from the first day, you could have gotten that sentiment. And not even I wouldn't even say the first day. I would say that from the sat down, you could get that sentiment based on what they were saying.
but Zambo said, "Get off." Me I wonder who we might talk. You Zambo, who must get off, Zambo? Yeah, but so Oliver here said maybe they're looking for a lawyer, but too shy to ask. I don't know what it is. When will we hear from the Court of Appeal? Um, and the message. Oh, okay. So Brandon really misbehaving. Zambo, I have to make you a moderator. It look like you have to tell him that, and everybody. So we have a visitor. Um, and we have to educate the visitor. So that's it. Um, yeah. So we're gonna tone that now. Um, yeah. So that is pretty much how it is. I can't see it, but I'm definitely gonna need a moderator because the comment section is very lit. Um, okay. So I have to find those people and then block them, but I can't see them to highlight them, and it's distracting. But I definitely will post show, look at the accounts, and then have them blocked or have them removed. This is a first for me, but that is it. People who want to be seen will certainly get outside of themselves. Um, right. So they do that for attention. Um, So we'll deal with that. That's going to take up too much time. But I want to say to people, what are your thoughts? How do you feel now that you have an understanding of what it is that happened in court today? Now that you know that the men have another road to go, the matter was sent to the Court of Appeal under Section 14.2 to make a determination if retrial is something that is feasible in light of the constitutional realities and the climate, including publicity. The most public trial in the history of Jamaica. Um, yeah. So, what is your thoughts? I'm looking through the comments. Um, One thought said, "Mr. Palmer." Um, That's it. We have clarity now. Yes, I'm glad you have clarity. Um, Me want to know. Trying to find it now, Me want to know where do the Judas make them a fight Iman. So that's beautiful English right there. Well, interesting. Um, that's a good question. How long does it take to fall in love? No, no, that's a song. How long does it take? All right, retrial or not? That's a very good question, and we will know the answer to that soon. It's just a shame the comments going faster. Well, it's festive tonight, It's a win for the judicial system and gives hope to the masses. Yeah, I agree with that.
Like
And
that.
that was coming from Flirtsy One. Um, Somebody says if the old evidence is inadmissible, then there shouldn't be a retrial. There is no new evidence. Agreed.
I definitely agree.
I definitely agreed. How will they find an untainted jury pool? That's a very, very good question. Very good question. Just hope that none of them don't come out of parliament because they have six corrupt people in parliament and we don't know who they are. It's so we don't want them and those people end up on the jury. So you know how those things go. Is it true that the old evidence can use back? Um, if it ever passed the admissibility test,
Right.
um, do they have a deadline? The matter is being done with expedition. Somebody says,
I think
can
that's
the
great. That's a
person
very important
please
question.
okay. Um, yeah, there's a lot of stuff.
I think that's an
Yeah,
important question right there about the
keep
old
on.
evidence, because I've heard persons expressing concerns about that. So I like
Yeah,
that it has been where we've addressed it, that it's really a matter of it must always go through the admissibility test, especially now it's a new trial. So it's not like they're taking stuff from the old trial and just automatically incorporating it and going forward. They're starting if it is that they do have a retrial, they would have to start from fresh, go through the steps of admitting everything before it goes into evidence.
well, the Maria Williams said the government is still going to try and force a retrial, and then says corruption. Here's the thing though. We have to take things one day at a time.
Right,
That's just the reality. I have no criticisms to make. I personally have no criticisms to make against the process as it is right now. People are entitled to do whatever they want to do, and
right.
nothing lasts forever. And so we just have to take it one day at a time, and we just have to keep prayers up for the men. Pray for health and strength and continuity, and we use the law and those who interpret the law and put in place to mete out justice. That will be done. because
That's right.
justice must not only be done, but it must be seen to be done. A
And that's
clear
important.
demonstration of that today, that justice
Exactly.
will be done even if the heavens should fall. And tonight, certainly when I go my bed, I will be sleeping. I don't know about you, but I can
Different
sleep.
from last night.
Yeah.
I said last night feel like it was a watch night service.
Right. What? Listen, man. My Bible tired. Let me stop. So that is what is important, and so I know the public want, we wanted the concert with the $12 million ticket, because I know a lot of you was going to take out loans and all of that, and not bother buy houses, so that you could be in the skybox for the $12 million. And so just go and save up the money, and when the time come, yeah, as Mark Golden would say, when the time come, it come. Yeah. But any final thoughts from you, Lexi? Miss
uh,
Alison La Beach. I don't know why I'm not seeing your name up there.
where?
I'm not seeing your name. Oh, it's there now. It's all right. Go ahead. Yes. I want to make sure your name is there.
Listen, I am just very happy that we had a decision that was in our favor. I will say again that naturally would have wanted the men to have gone home to their families today. That to me is just has just been delayed. Um, I'm hopeful that having considered the written judgment and the tone of the judgment, that our local courts will come to the decision that there is no need for retrial, and it's just a matter of getting to that step so that they can officially go home. I want to remind everybody that, as Mr. Buchanan has indicated, we will be making the necessary applications, um, for the appellants to have bail while they await their um, their fates before the Court of Appeal. And we're just happy that things have worked out. It was delayed, but at least we have gotten to this point now where at least they have a chance of going back home and back into society way before the times that were imposed on them.
All right. I have the most unconventional moment that's about to happen. I don't want him to drop out on the seats, but like she's like, Lord God, where is he going with this? I have to say something. In the pursuit of justice, procedure is a slave and not a master. Because we know this, and we are Jamaicans are, boy, if emotive was a word, we emote wholly bad. Certainly on my platforms where it is a light environment and we deal with laughter, we deal with upliftment, motivation, and encouragement. This is not the platform where certainly I am going to allow persons to come into the comments on, whether it be TikTok, whether it be Regular Global, whether it be the YouTube comment section, where that I'm going to sit. I'm not going to allow you to disrespect the DPP. The law has spoken, and you're going to give her the respect that she has worked for in her years and her career. This is one case and many other cases that are out there that we have to learn to separate. Just as the statement was made, when it comes to judges, you go in one parish and you get treated badly, you're treated fairly in other spaces. I'm just gonna ask people, because I speak the truth, and I always split justice, and to put things in context and why it was important that those who are put in power understand, especially media, that it was important to show that I quoted a song and never speak words out of my mouth or adopted any words that was supposed to be disrespectful to her. So I'm going to ask that people tone down and continue to give the respect that that office holds, because the powers that be certainly had done a lot to ensure that she remains in that office. I'm just asking that. So find another platform to disrespect whoever you want to disrespect, but not on this platform. Our system, as it is in Jamaica, is a system that works, is a system that I believe in. You don't have to believe in it with me. When I said cartel was going to be free, I said it and people said I was mad. Well, you see his conviction is quashed, and I will work diligently and diligently to ensure the best outcome for him. For
Right.
those who are worried, you worried about who fired and worried about paycheck and now worry about your situation. It's time as you go away that you can go and worry about making your life better for
Mm-hmm.
yourself, for your
Mm-hmm.
family. And so in that narrative, the disrespect doesn't accord with God and time. The disrespect does not accord with positive thinking. The disrespect does not go hand in hand with critical thinking. And if you read the judgment, you will learn to be sympathetic with people who made bad decisions. It doesn't mean that there is that integrity
Malice.
is
Mm-hmm.
in the justice system. It doesn't mean, but we are, if we believe in rehabilitation, if we believe in getting it right, we have to start from a place of respecting people. And I'm happy to say, just like I said, you can't call Mr. Palmer, Mr. Campbell, Mr. St. John, and Mr. Jones convict on this matter. But
Right.
if you call me that, and I'm asking you not to disrespect the DPP. And if you want somebody to disrespect me. My granny come from St. Thomas. I'm gonna say it again. It's a factual. You are free to bring the disrespect if you come on my platform and direct it at me. I am fine. I promise you that. So you're getting permission that if you're on my platforms, direct it at me, but not to people who are in their absence. You're going to speak ill of them because words are very powerful. And
That is
I'm putting that in context to say that at the same time, it's somebody's mother, it's somebody's sister, it's somebody's child. And just accord that respect. And I'm being very serious and genuine right now. And I don't care who wants to be upset about that. You can direct that at me, whether through my inbox. But we have to get to a place where we love each other and we understand how intense matters can be in the arena, in the fray, in while the adversarial system is going on. That's a part of the advocacy. But
right.
outside of advocacy, we go back to our lives and we have people who love us that's hurt by the vitriol. I hope I'm saying the word right. Somebody will teach me that. And I'm just making a plea to everybody that while we learn about context matters, it starts from a place of respect. And I'm going to borrow from the next Prime Minister of Jamaica, Mark Golding, and say, time come for respect and respecting the spaces when people are in there, respecting context and taking just 5 minutes to find out the context before we start to throw the disrespect. Respect that somebody can wear the Jamaican colors and you don't think they're a labor right, and respect these things. Once we have that and we are clear on that, this space is a place for freedom of expression. But freedom of expression don't mean that I have to agree with um, that which you express. And as I express myself to tell you, I don't agree with the disrespect and also the vitriol that's being directed at opposing counsel. We just need to stop that. And I was compelled to take this time to correct that. Yeah. And then big up my nice, clean lawyer friend Lexi.
And I'm happy to that because someone is asking. They said, "Ask Isaac where is the surprise he mentioned he had for the people." Me, I am the surprise.
Surprise, surprise,
Surprise,
surprise.
guys! I am the surprise.
Yeah, Lexi is a surprise. You see, when they don't take surprise late, well, they come like them woman there when you wrap up the Snicker bar and give them and them think a wedding ring. I don't know why don't stay like that? Context matters. I said I was gonna have a guest and the guest is here. You still I say where the surprise there. But yeah, and thank everybody for saying congrats to both of us. Thanking everybody for
Yes,
appreciating that at some level. And in the future you will see it. You will understand why you are to congrats the team at the first instance. Tom Tavares, KFC, big up yourself and others. Miss Valerie Nita, you carry the flag, and as it's a relay, and when you pass the baton, we brought it home, the anchor, and that is what is important, and that's why it needs a team. So all those people that would have felt like the lawyers before had failed and stuff like that, it's teamwork. Big up Bert Samuels, team Sean Campbell,
right. The
um,
entire team.
the entire team, and there are a lot of names. Some of them I can't even pronounce. But John Clark, Brain Box, you big up yourself. The same. We the media is there, and so we show love to everybody, even when they don't show love to us. Cause you see, you kill people with kindness, and them are go dead. You kill them with love and they can manage it. And that is what we are teaching each other. So the people who follow us will feel the love in such a way that hey, what can I say? There's no space for hate. So this was our session on the philosophy of freedom, and I was free to speak my mind. I thank everybody always for allowing me. Reggae Global, the team, the One Global team. Listen, Global TV team, Reggae Global Radio. Let me tell you something, man. Much respect for the platform and the opportunity, to everybody who visited, to everybody who are commenting, those who have joined and subscribed. Spread the word. This is a space where we will continue to educate. This is a space where we will continue to rehabilitate. This is a place where we will continue to improve. And this is a place where we will continue to show why Jamaicans are extraordinary people. This is a place where we can, if we are cordial with each other in the comments, we will meet some of the most amazing people that can change the trajectory of our lives. And that is a part of the purpose of the life. Where life is something given to us without knowing we are to receive it, and we are to make an impact on other people's lives. And certainly, this is why context matters. So I hope I brought some clarity to some people. Critical thinking, stick with it. We will get it right eventually. But until then, next week's show, we'll have more discussions, and the anticipation is rising, the clock is ticking, and more will happen.
Esther,
That's
before you go, I just want to say in this public space, because I big you up all the time in private, but
Mhm.
to my friend, my co-counsel, I just want to say that I'm so thankful that you have created this space where people can come and get clarity on things that I believe are so important for every citizen. I'm happy that we had this episode tonight, because as we were discussing earlier, a lot of persons were unclear about what the judgment meant, and it is so important, as we would have discussed, for each Jamaican citizen, regardless of class and creed and race, to understand how important their human rights are and how
Mhm.
much they must be protected. And how important it is to have the highest court in the land, in our land, write a judgment that says, yes, a lot of things happened in this case that was before them, but one of the most important things is that their fundamental rights were breached. And because of that, their conviction was quashed. And so they have a chance of being reintegrated into society.
There you go.
So it
There you
was
have.
very.
All right, so we are certainly at the top of the hour, and those people on Reggae Global Radio, thanks so much for joining. See you guys next week. Context matters. Now, all my people on YouTube, I know I never get to big up everybody. The comment section was very festive, but um, we'll see you guys next week. Blessings and love, and you can catch me tomorrow on the Andre Partner Draw TV, God's willing, or Saturday on Will Reasoning with Ratigan, where we'll continue discussions. And I'm sure between now and tomorrow and the day after, many things will shift and change as the narrative and the 9 day wonder continues for the media cycle. But it will pass, and when it does, what we do know is we still have our clients that are human beings, that constitutional rights must continue to be protected, and there are other clients who also needs the same type of attention if they're going to have a fighting chance of a normal life, and
Right,
more discussions on the presumptions of innocence and the importance of it, and especially the protection of minority groups, because I tell you, you would think that although poor is the majority, there are pockets of minority, as in being poor and being a ghetto youth in a particular community makes you a minority group, makes you targeted because of political, geographical implications, not necessarily affiliation, and all of the nuances in the cultural space that we will have to have the discussions about to improve the lives of Jamaicans at large, connecting Jamaica to the world, and we will go from there in terms of improving that. Lexi, I, as I said, they want to see more of Miss Alessandra. So where time permits, you're
I'm
always welcome to come and sit in. I think
always, guys, I'm always there now. I'm always in
yeah,
the
but not in the background. Your camera ready. You're ready for the video lights, and I'm so proud that you're going on stations that I don't go on and having interviews and all up in the people them space. It's a breath of fresh air, so I love it.
But
All
I
right.
will, as long as time and life and God permits, I will come back. There's a lot
Uh,
more to be discussed, and our clients, we're still fighting for them.
all right. That is it. God on time.
Oh, and I
Blessings.
would just like to say, anyone has any legal inquiries, because I don't know why I said shy to say it. Anyone has any legal inquiries, whether it be for me or for him, please send us direct messages. You can reach out to us. Where our information is all out there. Our names are what we use. We don't go into any fancy thing anywhere. He might miss it because we had this discussion. I had this discussion with him. He might miss your questions and such in the comment section, so just send him a direct message so he can get back to you. It's not that he has overlooked you willingly or he's not paying your legal inquiries any mind. It's just it is difficult to host and try to incorporate the audience and deal with things that are not necessarily um addressing the topic, because even the things that are addressing the topic might slip from time to time. So anyone needs to reach out to us. I consider us to be very approachable and accessible. Please reach out to us. Send a DM or something. That's
There
it.
you go. That's so nice. Yeah, that sounds so nice. I would have said that myself, except if we don't have the money when we can done, then don't inbox me. Me are one of the lawyer that put on your money. Anyway, all right. So blessings.
Thank
See
you
you
for the
guys.
invitation. Guys, I hope it was a pleasant surprise.
Surprise, surprise. All right, later.
All right, take care. God
All right,
bless.
the contact information. You contact me on Instagram or TikTok. It's sometimes when you put the numbers up, you find Maria, you find that people just call for random things and then it never ends.
And
Yeah,
don't worry, guys, you can get to me to get to him, and you can get to him to get to me.
that is true. Or just go to KFC and ask the Rasta will love the chicken and you'll get to me. They know me. They know me. You can leave a message at any KFC and it's all good. Yeah, I have to joke about everything because life is about laughter, health. If you follow people, your blood pressure will high, and you
It's
don't want
true.
that.
That
So,
is true.
do anybody want to be mad that I joke around? Hush. Catch me outside. Meet me at St. Thomas later. Next day. Have a good one. Content matter. I really enjoyed. I enjoyed your company, and I'm
And I
calm now.
appreciate the opportunity to be on.
All right.
Always a good time with you.
Yeah, man. Blessings.
All right.
All right. Night, night, my people. Blessings.